This is the Drew Experience podcast, a show that's 80% combat sports and 20% everything else. Today, it's 20% everything else. Based on what's going on in the news and with like gyms being closed and gym owners struggling and or personal trainers, I've decided to dedicate my show to giving the platform to them. Today, it's going to be a bit of a controversial topic. I mean, we're going to divide some people. Some people might unfollow us, but you know what? If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And today I'm bringing on a very good friend of mine. I've known him for over a decade. We played hockey together. He's one of the best teammates I had, one of the hardest workers. Definition of what a champion is, whether you love him or hate him, you're going to love playing with him, but you're going to hate playing against him. He's the definition of a success story, becoming a fireman, but then opened up a gym to better people's lives, and he's making an impact in them. I want to welcome my good friend, Matt Normandin, who runs, who's the trainer of Fire Fit and is known as Matsthetics on Instagram. Welcome, Matt.
Hey, thank you, Andrew, for having me on your show. We've known each other for over 10 years now, and I've seen a huge difference in the way you've changed and how you grew up and becoming a real man, and how you developed as a person. And it's nice to see that, and it's good to see someone that's been through a lot like you becoming who you are right now, you know.
Thanks, Matt. Same for you. It's pretty funny how we both kind of there's very few people with what we've experienced that can relate to what we've been through in our life. I mean, I don't need to really give a list, so for those who know me, I've made my tribute post sometimes, and today after this, based on how we feel, and there's going to be a post I'm going to be dropping very soon and whatnot. But Matt, I want to let you do more of the talking today, so I'll let the people know first of all who you are, what you do, and then I'll also ask I'll ask questions, but I want to give you more of the platform today.
Okay, no problem. Well, I'll start by introducing myself. My name is Matsthetics, Normandin. I'm half Quebecois, half Italian. And I grew up studying firefighting. That was my first actual success story after high school. At first, I didn't know what to do. Then there was a lot of firefighting in my family. I decided to go into firefighting. I graduated in that, but I didn't really enjoy it that much. So I decided to pursue my my career in personal training, which I feel this was a call for me, and it was a destiny that I had becoming a personal trainer. So I opened up my gym in 2017 called Fire Fit. And it's been running around for 3 years now, and we're pretty busy. We've made a nice impact in the East End for fitness, and hopefully we could make an impact more across the whole city and across the world.
Yeah, it's really nice to see what you started with, because I remember when we were studying to be a firefighter, as mentioned, and then when you started as a trainer, working at in a warehouse, a little warehouse, all the way on Langelier, and I was
you
one
were
of the
one of my
clients.
first clients too.
Yeah, that's when I was weighing. That's when I was weighing 205. I was I could weigh in as a light heavyweight for the UFC if I decided to become a pro fighter.
And that's when you wanted to be a pro ball hockey player and fighter.
Yeah, we had some good seasons, man. Honestly, I you know what? And by the way, you can swear on the show too. It's unfiltered. I fucking miss those days. The one teams that I miss was the one where we had to make those changes for players, and then it was when we had me, you, John. Shout out to John Ferry, and
we had you've created some nice teams, man. Some championship teams.
The best team though was that team, and then the Silver Tips team, that last team when we knew it was the last dance for us, because we just knew. I wish we could have played.
I really like the Blazers too. The Blazers are a nice story.
The Blazers too. Oh yeah, how could we forget the Blazers? Matsthetics too, when the 2-time Cup champs.
Yeah, we've had some nice ball hockey seasons playing together, and it was really nice to see you. You really sucked at first, and you definitely became a really good player towards the end.
Oh yeah, definitely. I knew I was a better watcher.
Hey man, you developed in life, and you developed as a hockey player too, man. You did some pretty good stuff as a ball hockey player too.
I have to admit, I always had a way of getting the star players, but there were others that deserve credit. I can't say I did it on my own. I mean, I was a good manager with a good persistence and not, but you need a good supporting cast in order to get the players. But fighting, then I got into martial arts and combat sports. That was always my calling. I was, pushed around a lot. I was bullied a lot in high school. And then when I met you guys, like at the East End, a lot of great people, but there were some that gave me a hard time, but I just tried to take it on the chin and be like, yeah, I'm the laid back guy, but I always had that
Yeah, you can
need to
definitely
fight.
take it on that chin, huh?
What?
You can definitely take it on that chin of yours.
I mean, this just Jay Leno
That chin.
chin. Oh yeah, Crimson Chin, baby, Crimson Chin
Crimson
all day,
chin.
all night. Yeah, I mean, I still sometimes I still go as Jay Leno for Halloween if it
I
hasn't
know
been
you do.
canceled yet.
I
Yeah.
was with you when you were Jay Leno.
That was perfect. And yeah, man. And then I got into fighting, and I've been doing it. I do full contact karate, aka Kyokushin. I really want to give you a shout out here because you were the one that got me connected with my current teacher, Mohammed, and Momo Kyoku one on social media. And I remember when you messaged me. You don't remember it, but it was in 2017. It was when I got my first trophy. And I was like a heavyweight. I was like weighing 210. And then this is when I really saw myself in the mirror one day. And I was like, yeah, I got to make some changes, man. And then you said, I think I have someone that can work with you. I said, his name is Momo. His name is Mohammed. Hit him up on Insta. Let him know you know me. But it took some while because I don't like randomly messaging people. But then one day, I think it was when I hit 184, going down from 210 in 2017. And I messaged him and I was like, hey, we have a mutual friend named Matt Normandin. He's known as Matsthetics on Instagram. And he's like, oh, yeah. He's like, I know Matt. He's like, are you fighting this year? And I was like, yeah. He's like, who's your school? So I told him my school. And I had another trainer at the time who was more MMA based, but still did a fucking A1 job in teaching me how to like use my footwork. So Mo watched my fight and he's like, come down and train with me, and then the rest is history. And he's going to be giving me my brown and black belt as of this year, hopefully, if things calm down.
There's a reason why you meet people in life. It could be for good or it could be for bad, but every person teaches you a lesson. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. So Matt, you were doing really good this year. Your Fire Fit was killing it. You opened up a second location. Things were going good. Then COVID hit. So
well, COVID hit before I opened my new location.
Yeah. And what's that been like?
It's been rough. Like there's ups and downs, but I try to stay motivated through my training and through motivating other people. And by doing that, it brings positive energy towards me. So I've been able to keep a good morale, and I've been keeping busy. We do some online stuff. We do some online workouts. We do some online challenges. I've been doing some house calls, and I've been trying to stay busy. Improving my fitness. I've been taking this year to improve my aspect of fitness. So I started doing weightlifting this year too, and I feel like that's been progressing really well. And it's very nice. I live with my girlfriend now, so we keep each other motivated, and we help each other. So this year I feel like it's about we obviously got a huge loss in not being able to work at full capacity, but there's obviously some good things that I've learned throughout the year, and I guess I got better as a person myself.
Yeah, really it's nice to see you mature too. Like I think we all have to mature because some people.
Hey man, COVID makes everyone 5 years older.
Yeah, and I mean I got gray hairs. Like I mean you can't see it right now because of the headphones, but I got some gray hairs showing. I got the Jay Leno hair coming in, so I'm gonna look like my. It's coming, man. It's coming. Yeah, but like it really makes you realize. And I think this pandemic, when we first got locked down, everyone was kind of like, yay, party. We're going to work from home. This and that. But it really, it makes you really, because, think of it how distracted we were before. And it makes you really sit down with yourself and look at what's around you materialistic wise. And it makes you really ask, am I really happy with what I have around me?
Yeah, it's true. Well, I realize I am happy with what I have. Of course, I'm super thankful. I have a house I live in. I have food on my table all the time. I have access to my gym where that keeps me mentally and physically tough and strong. And we take it we take a lot of things for granted. And sometimes we just need to realize that what we have and be thankful for it.
It really does. And, honestly, I just really have to say I'm one of the vocal ones who has who has definitely disagreed with the closures of gyms. I do believe gyms are an essential service. They are essential. Like, so when I see guys like, shout out to Christian Menard of Pro Gym, you know, going on
Hey, brother.
TV.
All the things that are essential are being said as being used as non-essential. Gyms, going to see your family, bro.
Churches, synagogues.
Tell your grandmother that she's not able to see her grandchildren. You think she gives a shit about the COVID? She'll tell you right away. Come over. You know, like family is essential. Friends are essential. The gym is essential. You know, like they take away everything that's good for your immune system and for your mind, and they say that it's not essential, which is complete garbage.
It really is. I mean, you know, like, I'm not, look, I get it. There's a virus, and I'm not an anti-masker. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm going to make that very clear. But the real fallout of this is the amount of mental illness. So do you know, like, how many, like, students, like, when I have my martial arts guest on, they have students that live by karate. They need this form of
Well,
fitness to
yes.
keep a routine going with the community. They're alone
People-
now. What do you think they're going to do? What do you think
People
they're going to do?
well, the statistics say that people between the age of 18 and 24 are the ones that are suffering the hardest with mental illness from this, you know? And I don't blame them. At 18 years old, we were going out, we were living our life, we we're having fun, making memories. Now, what kind of memories are they making on TikTok? They're on their fucking phones all the time, on social media. What kind of memories are you gonna be making with that? When you're 40 years old, you're gonna tell your kids, yeah, at 19 years old, I was spending my weekends on TikTok. You know, like us, we were going out. Like I had my memories. I made my fun, which is why it's a bit easier to cope for this. Like I'm fine with not going out. It's okay. Like it doesn't bother me that much. But I could just imagine like people at that certain age, you know, like.
Exactly. Like, cause like when we were 18, 19, oh my God, like the amount of memories, you know, old, like, hey guys, like for those who listen to this, who are Matt's younger clients, like Matt and I, we used to like party it up in our party days, like Med, La Folie, and where else? Fuzzies. I never been to Fuzzies, but like those were the memories we had.
Yeah, man, traveling, everything. It was. I feel like the government is there is a virus going on, but they're not doing this properly. They're not taking it. They're not taking they're not doing the right things to help us. They're doing the opposite of the right things. You know, like there's coalitions in Quebec being formed by doctors that I want to try and voice this, but the government keeps shutting them down. You know, they're not giving them access to voice their opinions and to help the government. The government thinks they can do everything themselves without any help from doctors and scientists. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Doctors are the ones saving your lives, and you're not taking the advice from them. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
What really angers me, and this really fucking pisses me off, okay? Like, it really angers me that, you know, we're hearing, oh, the hospital system is going to collapse. Well, what were you doing before this? Where were you putting the money and investing?
Exactly.
Where were you? Like, why is it that
it shows that your province is corrupt, man? Like, you're putting money in the wrong things. Like, instead of putting money into fixing our streets and prior to the pandemic, you're putting it into a fucking Ferris wheel on P9 and Henry Brassa. Like, what the fuck, you know? Like, Legault, instead of opening schools, why don't you use the schools to put the homeless inside and keep them sheltered for the winter and keep the schools closed? It boggles my mind. Like, elementary students should be going to school. It's important and it's easier to control them.
They need to be with their peers.
But high school students don't have to go to school. They're the most at risk, and they're the ones who transmit everything because they don't give a fuck. They don't listen to anything, you know. And they're gonna be sent back to school now. Now there's gonna be the lockdown's gonna go down till April, man. It's gonna go down till April.
It wouldn't surprise me. The amount, and that's the fallout. The fallout is not the virus or the vaccine. The fallout is the mental health that you're going to create, the habits that are going to form, the suicides. Like, for example,
well, yeah, like drug addiction raised this year by like almost 30%. You know.
I have like someone I have a friend that lives up in Quebec in Septils, and I was asking him. So I'm gonna go into a bit of French here because I like practicing my French. So if I have a big accent, Sorry. No, you know what? Sorry, not sorry. I know I'm an anglophone. So I'm like in Sept-Îles where it's very rural. I was like, hey, comment c'est la situation en Sept-Îles, Québec maintenant? He says he's like, oh, c'est très grave. Parfois, je me souviens, il y avait un suicide chaque mois, mais chaque semaine, il y a 4 appels pour un suicide chaque semaine. C'est très, très, très fatigué et nous n'avons pas les outils pour
Yeah,
fixer
man.
ça.
People, they can't pay their bills anymore. They can't feed their families. You know, like they're losing their minds there, and it's not nice. It's a bad situation. It's gonna get even worse now. This lockdown will be worse than the first one.
Now there's protests happening. Like they're like,
There's gonna be. I think there's a protest tonight at 7:30.
if anyone lives downtown, like, look, I'm for the demonstration, but please, if
Look,
you have any cars, park them underground.
look, protests are good, but they won't fix the situation.
No.
The best way to fix this whole stupid situation is for everyone to open up their businesses and not give a fuck. What the cops are gonna find every single business? People are just gonna laugh in their face and continue doing what they're doing. Everyone shouldn't. I feel like I'm not trying to be against the law here, but hey, man, people need to survive, and I guess the only way to really stop this is for everyone to open.
It's just nuts. And, like, I just hate it. And, the hospital system too is very overwhelmed. And now, as mentioned, like, there's doctors that are pleading, nurses are resigning, like they're handing in their walking papers because they're so short staffed. And
but this has been going on for more than a year. This has been going on for a long time. They've been always short staffed.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good. And instead of investing money into that, they invested in other stuff, man. It doesn't. Here, it's all corrupt here, and it shows. Like, the facts are there. If you're not seeing this, then you've been already brainwashed, and you're long gone. You're not gonna come back, and when you do come back, it's gonna be way too late. Those people that are taking this shit and they're sitting at home. Okay, curfew. Now I can't do anything. Those people later on will regret that they made those decisions.
If you're terminally ill, okay, if you're terminally ill and you're elderly and when you're more at risk, I understand why you want to stay in. But like,
yeah, but that's your. If you're terminally ill, I understand. Yes.
Yeah.
But
there's understanding.
But there's also those people that do it to themselves. They're home binge watching Netflix,
eating shit.
Fucking shit. They don't fucking exercise. They don't get any fucking sun. They drink alcohol. They just smoke their weed, and they just fucking eat garbage and watch garbage all day long. Those are the people that are the ones that are telling you to stay home. Those are the people telling you to stay home. You know why?
They're shaming, and then they shame you for wanting to make a difference in your life.
Those people are the poison. Those are the poison people. And I don't give a fuck about those people anymore. I'm 30 years old. I have enough friends that I'm happy with my surroundings. I don't need a million people to like me. You know what? The less, the better. Fuck them. I'm starting to really get fed up about all this bullshit. It's been over 10 years that I'm talking about this. And people used to say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Yeah? 10 years later, those people are the ones saying, Matt, you were right, Matt. You're right about everything. Everything is coming to true. Even my girlfriend, in the beginning of our relationship, the pandemic has started. She's like, Matt, don't be like that. It's not true. And now she's starting to see that I'm not lying and I'm not making this bullshit up. It's in front of your fucking eyes. Just take off your glasses and look for once.
Or put your phone down. Put the phone down and wake up
and see what's surrounding you. It's all garbage, bro. When did the government say, hey guys, I know the lockdown's gonna be tough, but a very good way to maybe get past it is by exercising daily, getting fresh air, taking some good supplements to keep your immune system nice and strong, and feeding it with good food. No? What? Instead, you go to Metro, you go to IGA, they still serve you chips that's an essential service, chips and chocolate and ice cream. And McDonald's is still open. Harvey's is still open. Why don't you close those down? Why don't they take a pay cut? Why don't you take a pay cut, Logo? You didn't take one pay cut at all during the pandemic. Everyone else suffered besides you. You still made your $100,000.
You know what really angers me? This is it's such a fucking double standard, okay? It's where, and I know we're cussing a lot here, but you know what? This, as I said, it's unfiltered. and it really boggles my mind. We go on vacation. They go on vacation. Oh, but you can't go anywhere. That when like, and now the ministers are coming out. Oh, I went on vacation. I
Bro,
went to Barbados.
bro, you couldn't go see your grandmother for Christmas, but you could go party in Cancun with 8 friends sleeping in the same hotel room. Where the hell is the logic? Where's the logic? As much as I love traveling and everything, I'm for it. Go to Cancun, but don't say I can't go see my grandmother and then you allow me to go on a plane with 8 of my friends.
Exactly. Like it was very hard to tell my 92-year-old grandmother. My grandmother has never been the same since my father passed away in 2014. To tell her I'm her grandson, okay? Like her only son. Grandma, well, we call her Amma because she's like from Iran. We're from my father's side is Iranian, as I've said. I'm like, Amma, I'm really sorry I can't come this year. And to hear the depression in her
Well,
voice,
yeah, those
imagine.
people, those people, they've been alone for a year almost. All those old people living in those care homes, they've been alone in isolation for almost a year. You know what damage that causes to them? It makes them get even more sick. My grandmother was perfectly healthy last year, perfectly healthy. COVID hit. In the summer, she started getting sick. You know why? Because she was isolated inside her house for 5 months.
How's she doing now?
My grandmother passed away
Is that the one that you told me
in
about? The one.
September. Yeah, in September, she passed away from cancer. Why? Because when you're isolated and you're not doing your normal day activities, the sickness that your body has inside comes out even more. It develops. It's like, let's say you're prone to having lung cancer. Being isolated inside and not doing anything and having those negative thoughts rolling through your mind, you develop that lung cancer that's inside you. You know, I'm not saying it's only lung cancer. I'm saying all the different diseases that are happening, they're occurring even more now because of isolation.
We're gonna have the biggest problem, okay? The biggest problem, and I didn't want to really bring it up on the show here, but I do have a loved one that's it's gonna come out soon. Like there's someone that's very close to me that is terminally ill, and it's a mind battle, this terminal illness, and it's very tough to like see what they're going through, and you feel so helpless that you can't do anything. And then you go and people are telling you, what are you doing
Well,
here?
you can't do
What is
anything. You can't do anything because those people don't know any better. They're not being fed the proper utensils. Instead, the government says, you're gonna stay home. Don't see anybody. Don't go to anyone's houses. Don't go anywhere. Just stay home. Why are you? What kind of advice is that? It's not advice. It's telling you to be a prisoner in your own home. That's what it is.
luckily though, like they are being very active, so they are taking your advice. They go for walks when they can, but just like with the chemo too, because there's also that factor with the kind of chemo that they're taking. It also chemo too,
Bro,
like just
they're slowing down cancer treatments for a fucking flu.
yeah. And it's
They're
it's
slowing down
ridiculous.
cancer treatments. Why? Like, your cancer treatments are more important right now. Like, it's a fluke. Like, like they're making it seem like it's more important than a cancer treatment. It's not. Those
people's
people need
people's
those people need those treatments.
people's operations. I need a hip replacement. Sorry, we're canceled. Why? COVID.
Yeah,
It's all an
exactly.
excuse. Like the hospital system, like just what I had to go through. Like when I found out what was going on, like at one of the biggest hospitals in Montreal, the cancer ward, that no one's working together. No one's working together. Like this, this person that's very close to me that got that's terminally ill. Like they lost her biopsy almost, if I'm not mistaken. Like it's such a mess, like that I'm still trying to grasp. Like, and the excuse is COVID and telemedicine. Oh, just call your doc. The doctors have dropped the ball too. Like the tsunami of cancer diagnoses that went unchecked after this. That's another fallout with the mental illness.
Hey, look, listen. There is a virus going on. I don't. I don't know. Personally, I don't know anyone who ever had it, and if they did, they were fine. Okay. There is a virus. We should obviously be careful. This obviously taught us to be more aware of our surroundings and how to really like stay clean. I guess like wash your hands. Like I wasn't doing that as often before, but now I'm more aware of it. Like be careful. Like if you're feeling something, be more respectful of the people around you. Like, don't go to work if you're feeling a bit sick, you know, like you obviously learn these things. And I guess like we didn't know these things before. We need a little wake up call, like a slap in the face. But there's more than a virus going on. It's in front of your face. And if you can't see it, then you've already been brainwashed and it's not working.
Like, look what's going on in the US right now. Like, you know, like, look what happened there. Like, you know, and I'm going to make this very clear here. I'm not political. Okay. I'm not political, but look what happened in the US. Trump's Twitter got censored. Now, when people speak up about like what
Bro,
they feel,
Trump's been blabbing his mouth for 4 years and they only censored him now. They censored him now. Why? Because he said he didn't even say anything bad. He just said law and order. All he said was law and order. He never said anything about killing anybody. He just said law and order. And they censored him right now. After 4 years of him being like this, now they decide to block him.
This is a very dangerous precedent. And especially with the virus too, because you said earlier that doctors want to put the science out. They're not being given the platform. This is a form of censorship. That's very dangerous.
They're calling him a dictator, but you're the people blocking the platform. That's dictatorship.
That's tyranny. There's a saying. Okay, I'm going to get the saying out here. Okay, let me read it out to you. Okay, let me read it out to you because it's from my friend Paul.
President Donald Trump did more for the middle class than any president has ever done.
Let me get the saying out here, okay? So I'm going to read it out to you, all right? So people who are clamoring right now, this is a quote from Alexander Solzhenitsyn, a Russian philosopher. He was in what's called a gulag, a political prison. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be like this, but just listen to this carefully. And for anyone
gulag, not the gulag.
Gulag.
Okay.
Let me read it out. And this is a quote from Alexander Solzhenitsyn. All you freedom-loving left-wing thinkers in the West, you progressive students, to you this whole book is a waste of effort. You may suddenly understand it all someday, but only when you yourselves here, hands behind your back, and step ashore on our archipelago.
What do you think about that?
Has some merit. Listen, my family, my mother's side, they fled. The reason why, like my mother's side, like my mother's born in Canada, but her family is of Russian descent. They fled Russia because they saw the turmoil. They knew the king was going to be overthrown for the communists, and with all and this is what happens, you know, when a radical ideology takes effect. Well, not radical. Okay, let me make sense here. When someone like the big tech company shares their view like this and they're censoring other voices, whether it's for the pandemic, like voices were getting censored in the pandemic. It shows.
Big tech is gonna censor even more now. Starting today, they're gonna censor even more with all the curfews and stuff. They're gonna be censoring a lot more. It's gonna be hard to send information for the masses, and it's gonna be very hard to communicate. You're gonna have to download like Parler and stuff like that.
Parler got taken off the Play Store, by the way.
Oh wow! You see, they're already starting to do that. That's crazy. How can you do that?
Like, listen, I have friends who are like, and just because like you don't agree with conservatives who are people on the right, what does this come to, Matt? Like,
right or left, they're both bad, Andrew. They're both bad.
You got to be a centrist. You got to be a centrist. Like, that's how it is, you know. Like, look, I have friends who are on the right, and I'm never going to demonize them. I have friends on the left too. I don't demonize them. Like, what does it come to? Like, this pandemic has shown how divided we are. It's like so I've never seen division like this. Like,
well, yeah, it's called divide and conquer, right?
Yeah.
Divide and conquer. Separate. No, first they separate us by color. They separate us by our how much money we have. Now they're gonna separate us by who believes in COVID and who doesn't believe in COVID. That's their plan. The whole plan, the bigger picture is to divide us as much as we can, so we can all work together in order to save our planet. You know, but
it's a mess. Like this whole thing has really shown how corrupt government is, and how like you can't really have like one person leading 300 or 36 million people. It's
dude,
like
Donald Trump had 70 million votes. He had 70 million Americans voting for him. He obviously didn't do some good things. He did some bad things, but he did a lot of things that no other president has ever done in the history of the United States. He's done a lot more for the middle class than most presidents has ever done.
Yeah,
you know. Uh, I'm not saying he's perfect. He's far from there, but he definitely did a lot of good things in his 4 years that people, they don't really see that because the TV is telling you to hate him.
I really think I think it's amazing how the journalist and activist are becoming interchangeable, and now it's like it's ridiculous. Like, for example, when Dana White of the UFC put out a video, because remember how sports were shut down and Dana White was the only one who was trying to put fights on?
Yeah.
So Dana White recently did a video because people hated on him during the wave, like journalists. Journalists were going after him saying, oh, this wasn't really good. This is dangerous and that. So Dana White put out the biggest middle finger emoji video to all those journalists. And on Twitter, you know, I shouldn't really engage with it because, you know, Twitter is just it's so bad for your mental health, Twitter. So I get on there because I use it for my MMA news. And I see some of these journalists that are like saying, they're saying Dana White should be ashamed of himself, this. And I said, guys, don't bite the hand that feeds you. It's so funny how like you're coming at him now, but like he's gonna just say, don't come to events, and then you're gonna cry. Why can't he come to events? Because look, you want to. This is the precedent of cancel culture. You cancel me, okay? Well, I'm gonna find a way, and that's the problem with the journalism today too. It's just there. It's on its last edges. Like journalism is kind of on its last hinges.
Mm. It's only going to be, I guess, using through social media platforms now.
Clickbait. Every time like I click on it, oh fuck, it's a clickbait article, and it's like I just wasted.
I don't have Twitter. Twitter. I'm not a Twitter user. Snapchat. I just have Instagram. Facebook, I use it sometimes, but I'm trying really more and more not to really pay attention to social media as much.
Post and ghost, as they call it. I just do what's called post and ghost. Like, look, I scroll it.
I just like to. I use it to like keep in contact with like people, but besides that, no. Especially this year, like a lot of garbage is being thrown out there. A lot of conspiracy theories too. I'll admit, like there's a lot of stupidities out there, and I don't believe everything you see. You see, like a lot of people, they, instead of like doing their own research, they believe exactly what's being put on the screen, you know, instead of taking 5 minutes out of their time to go and dig deep into the research and finding the true facts that of what they're seeing.
It's nuts. Like, you know, like it's like they just assume and then they just post it, like, and then you're like,
yeah, exactly.
And it's like, Did you take the time to kind of like look behind what's going on here? Because there's always two sides to every story. There's his side, her side, and the truth. And that's what it's come down to. Like, you know, I don't know if you know, there's a guy that I watch on YouTube now, like called Michael Francis. He's a former mobster. He's writing a book called Mafia Democracy and how Machiavellian the government's becoming. And you should look at that channel, Matt. Like he talks about his life in the mafia, but this new book, Mafia Democracy, is going to talk about what's happening now with the government, whether it's in Canada, whether it's in the US, whether it's in the world. Europe. Yeah. Like, look what's going on in Europe. Like, they're the first ones that got the curfew going. Like, Macron is like probably the most unpopular prime minister. I don't know what they have in France.
It's true. It's all everyone's following each other's footsteps. The government, they're really imposing this new reset that we keep hearing about, you know,
the Great Reset.
I don't know if you read the book 1984, but
I want to.
That book really depicts everything that's going on right now, and it's really weird.
Did you, when you were in Europe, because you've traveled to Europe extensively, whether it was to Slovakia, Czech Republic, Netherlands, what do the people say about like the government down there? Like, you know, with how like they live their lives?
I never really spoke about that when I was there, but in Croatia, not right now, they're being they're liking their government, you know, because the government's not really installing a curfew right now, but I think they will follow eventually in the next week or two, because hey, everyone's following each other's footsteps. But they're liking their government right now. The government's not making stupid decisions, and yeah, I guess it depends where you are, right? But
I mean, look at Russia. Like, I get videos every day, like for the karate I do of Kyokushin karate. Like Russia, the gyms are open, dojos are open. They have a normal life. Like, you know, you could say what you want about Vladimir Putin. Like, you know, whether he's like the guy's a bit dangerous. Don't get me wrong. I wouldn't get on his bad side, but clearly Russia's gotten back to normal, and it makes you just want to facepalm yourself.
Okay, so the situation in Russia is being controlled, basically.
Yeah, and they're back to normal. They wear masks outside, you know, in public places, but the gyms are open. Like, I'll send you videos.
Hey, man, they should have done this type of lockdown back in March.
Yeah.
But Quebec, the government, they were sitting on their couch, their chair, and they're like waiting for the fucking virus to travel across the sea. Instead of automatically hearing about the virus, we shut down everything. We wouldn't be in this mess right now. Fast forward almost a year later.
Look at Wuhan, where the virus originated. In Wuhan, they're celebrating. They're celebrating New Year's, like on December 31st,
Well,
and Times
yeah.
Square was empty. Did you
In
see the?
Taiwan, they were having Ultra Music Festival.
Taiwan is like one place that no one talks about because of China's influence with all this. Because Taiwan is like they were the ones that caught the virus early and they were able to control it, but they want to get it out there. But did you see that video where they're like, "What about Taiwan?" I think there's a disconnection with the WHO, and it's like, what? Such hypocrisy. Like, someone was like, she's like, my question was about Taiwan. I gotta go now. That's what yeah.
Maybe, who knows, man? Maybe Taiwan became controlled by the Chinese government already. I don't know.
No, it's a very complex situation over there because, given in layman's terms, like in 1949, when when China became communist, they were fighting the nationalists. So the nationalists lost the civil war and they fled to the island known as Taiwan. And Taiwan became the China until 1971, when the PRC, People's Republic, was finally recognized because of a deal brokered by George H.W. Bush and U.S. lawmakers, because they wanted to get China open with Mao because they didn't want to isolate them. And since 1971, Taiwan has no voice or representation.
Hey, man, China is very dangerous, and I feel like China is playing a huge role in everything that's going on right now.
Look what's going on with the Uyghurs, like the Muslims, who are getting persecuted. It's like they're in concentration camps. They're doing what they did to my people, and
this is in China.
This is in China. They are persecuting the Muslims, the Uyghur people.
All the males.
Yeah, they're making them eat pork. They're putting them in camps, surveillance, and no one talks about it.
This is happening right now.
This is happening right now.
No one's talking about it.
It's one of the greatest tragedies of our time. It's a genocide, and nobody's talking about it. And as like someone, being a Jew, my parents are my mom's side is Jewish. They fled Europe. We had some parents in the Holocaust, and I get it. I can forgive Germany because they acknowledged what they did. Okay,
Andrew, this is the modern day Nazi right now. What's going on? This is the modern day Nazi. What's going on? I hope you know that today, when they're gonna send out an emergency text like a few weeks ago.
Oh, I hate that emergency. It's like, and I'm
that's
like,
martial law. That is martial law, and it's true, and it's happening. And there's gonna be the military proceeding into the streets. There's gonna be military everywhere. It's gonna be really fucked up. The next few weeks are gonna be very intense.
Yeah. It's because people are losing it all. What do they have left to lose? When you have nothing left to lose, you're going to resort to anything necessary. That's what happened.
But people nowadays, we're scared. It's not like in the past when the people the population didn't like what was going on. What happened? They would go out as masses and they would start a revolution.
How do you think they stopped the Vietnam? Well, not Vietnam. Well, like, look at the Russian Revolution. How do you think the king got overthrown? Because he got so unpopular that people were starving for bread. And the the Tsar of Russia in World War I got overthrown. There was a provisional government, like when you have an interim coach in hockey or sports, there's like an interim government. But then the Soviets took over after, and then that's when something completely.
This is the modern day war, man. This is the modern day war right now. We're in a war as the people versus the government. That's exactly what's going on. That's my belief. Mm-hmm. I may be wrong, but seeing all the facts, seeing everything being played out how it is, it's true.
It's crazy, Matt. Like this
lockdown was predicted last summer.
Or when Bill Gates put that TEDx video about a pandemic, and it's like, and he's like I'm not going to comment on that because then people are going to be like conspiracy theorists, and it's like, I don't know what to think of that. Like, sometimes my brain just wants to explode.
I fucking hate Bill Gates. I hate that guy. That guy killed so many African people. He killed thousands of African people, and he vaccinated thousands of African people, and look at them now. You think they were born with deficiencies? No, they weren't born like that. people are not born like that. I'm telling you, it's all the vaccines that they were tested there in Africa, and it caused a lot of damage there. And people in Africa, they hate Bill Gates. They hate Bill Gates, and they hate what he stands for.
Listen, when people ask me, like, are you going to take the vaccine? I like to say, I'm going to wait. Because the thing is, when you launch a vaccine that quick, think of when the new iPhone comes out or a new PS5. There's going to be so many bugs in there and side effects. So I'm going to wait. I mean, look, I'll take a flu shot. Listen, I take my.
It's proven by doctors that the people who take vaccines later on in their life are the ones that develop illnesses, and the ones that are always sick compared to the ones that don't get vaccinated live a healthier lifestyle. It's been proven by doctors. If you don't believe me right now, what I'm saying, after, go on Google, do your research, and you're going to see vaccinated people versus non-vaccinated people in the long term.
Mm-hmm. Like it's.
Buddy, I haven't had a cold in like 10 years. Knock on wood, I haven't been sick in over 10 years. Why? I exercise daily. I sleep properly. I take my vitamins, zinc, omega-3s, vitamin D, magnesium, and I eat whole foods.
Yeah. You're doing really good for yourself.
I don't think about getting sick. The ones that think about always getting sick are the ones that are feeding their bodies with garbage. And I feel like that's a huge problem right now. This is where people have to understand this, that it's only gonna get worse. You really have to really pay attention to what you put in your body and what you do.
I mean, look, I'm guilty of it too. I was eating like garbage before because of what's going on in my life right now, trying to balance like what's going on with like my family and then work. So, but luckily, I'm doing what I can to exercise. And emotional eating does happen. I'm not trying to give it a free pass, but yeah, you got to really, if you want to feel good, eat whole foods, eat slowly.
The ones that are that are so pro vaccination. Sorry for my grammar. Sometimes it fucking sucks. I'm just trying to get better. But those are the ones that are constantly scared. They're constantly scared, and they think that a vaccine is gonna be their key to their life. Like, it's not. Like healthy eating is key to your life. Exercising. I'm gonna repeat it. Getting quality sleep. Getting quality sun.
Look at how vitamin D deficient people are because we live in the north. I take vitamin D every day. I take it every day.
Of course, vitamin D is very essential to mental health. It causes people. It how can I say this? It lowers the chances of depression, lowers the chances of anxiety, everything. Vitamin D is very important, and it's a supplement that I feel like everybody should be taking constantly every day.
I really agree with you. I mean, honestly, it's like I take vitamin D. I mean, I eat whole foods too. I try to eat healthy. Like, a day for breakfast for me is like steel cut oatmeal with blueberries, sliced banana, and Greek yogurt with cinnamon. And then I'll have like a vitamin D tablet with the omega-3 fish oil, like the tablet for that with zinc. That's what I take. And, it's accessible, guys. It's at your Jean Coutu, it's at your any pharmacy. Get it, especially now because we're going to be indoors more, where depression is more prone to hit with the shorter days.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like more people need to know this because we're in 2021. People, they're not. You have to spoon feed them now. You have to constantly repeat to them. It's harder for people now to understand the difference between good and bad.
There's also it's also the saying, bringing the horse to the water. Horses, they're scared. They're kind of trepidatious of the water. Trepidatious means they're kind of unsure. So you have to, as you said, spoon fed, bringing the horse to the water, being like, listen, if you want to be healthy, you gotta do these things. It's not hard. Ditch the McDonald's. You don't have to go on a complete purge. Do it slowly.
I'm not saying I'm perfect. I obviously eat some junk food once in a while, but most of the time, 90% of the time, what goes in my system is quality stuff,
Exactly. So when all this craziness, whenever it ends, what's the expectation? Because I mean, you've done everything you can, like, not just you, but to all gym owners and trainers, like that have a studio, that have
I'm excited. As soon as they give us the green light to go, the fitness industry will blow up. and the travel industry will blow up again. So those are two industries that are that will never die. So as soon as this opens, it's gonna be I'm gonna be super busy. I already know it, and I'm excited for it.
Yeah, there's also the guy, he's our friend Steven, our graphic designer friend Steve, posted him, the guy from, he's a black guy, Southwest Bully on Instagram. He's a
Yeah,
trainer. Yo, shout out to that guy, man. Like he's one of like the more like obviously more outspoken,
yeah.
but you need that.
His voice is heard. Yes.
You know what? So shout out to Southwest. If I get the handle wrong, I apologize. Shout out to Southwest Bully Gym for
Yeah,
really, John,
Jean. His
John,
name is Jean.
Jean. Jean, keep up the good work, man. Because you're honestly like Matt, him, you, others, Christian Menard of Pro Gym, and all those who stand behind him, guys. Like you have it. Like put like to all the trainers, you have a chance to really come together here and make a coalition of your own. Like you can do this, and you're gonna get the backing. It just takes one, maybe two,
Hey
maybe
man,
three.
this is gonna be a revolution, Andrew. There's gonna be a revolution happening. We're lucky to be living through it, as well as not being lucky. And there's goods and bads to this, but there's gonna be a revolution happening, and I'm excited to see where it's gonna go, because I see a lot of people really starting to really realize that the government is taking us for fools, and it's just about timing. Soon
I
soon the glass is gonna fall on the floor and it's gonna break, and that's when people are gonna.
And as it says with glass, you can't repair glass. When it's broken, it's broken. And, it's, that's why. And, you're really doing, honestly, such a good service, Matt. Like, I don't know if anyone tells you, but,
Hey man, I've been getting more love through this than hate. I lost over 70 followers in the last few days. Like I said before, I'm not here to be your friend anymore. I don't care. If you want to unfollow me, that's your choice. If you want to believe all the garbage that the government feeds you, that's your choice. But later on, like I said, God will have a special place for those people. He will have a special place for those people, and those people are not going to be happy.
you're
Like,
really yeah, you're just doing such a good job, honestly. And,
hey man,
like,
like I said, I've gotten
yeah.
more love about it, and I feel like those people that are sending me love, they're the ones who should be opening their mouths too. If all those people would be opening their mouths, then more people would be opening their mouths, and it just takes the voice of the people. That's what it is.
It really does, because at the end of the day, they're like when the government, they're supposed to serve us, not themselves. I'm going to send you that video from Michael Franzese about mafia democracy. I'm going to send it to you after we're done recording here. After the recording
Yeah,
is done.
I have like a few minutes left. Is
Yeah,
that okay?
yeah. So so let's change it up a bit. So at the beginning of the call, it's so like controversial, but you need that. So to end on a good note, man. What has been the biggest accomplishment like for you since you became a trainer? Like, what was like your aha moment when you knew this was
My
for you?
biggest accomplishment as a trainer is obviously opening up my studio with my business partner John. That's my biggest accomplishment. But an even bigger one is to see all the people that I've helped change their lives in the last 4 years. That's an even bigger accomplishment.
Yeah, it really is, man. And
And I know
like,
I know I'm gonna be changing more people's lives as I get older. As the years go by, I'm gonna change people's lives even more.
yeah, you're on the right path, man. And that's what I love doing about this show, especially now. Like when I started doing the show again, first it was just about fighting, but then when I saw when the gyms closed, I had my aha moment, and I feel like I have a role to play to give fitness trainers like you, and
Of
gym owners
course,
like yourself, trainers,
we rise by lifting others.
or as the saying goes, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, you go together.
Exactly.
And where can
And a little few tips I would like to give
mhm.
is throughout these times, I know they're hard, but try and keep a positive energy, because if you feed yourself with good stuff, then good will happen. And if you keep thinking about only the bad stuff throughout these times, then you're only going to attract those bad things. So keep a positive mindset and attract positive energy. Meditate. Um, Stay active through training at home. It could be from running outside, anything. And yeah, feed yourself with some good food, some fruits, veggies, quality meats. If you eat meat, quality fish if you eat fish. Um, take care of your loved ones. Always reach out to people. It's good to do that. That's attracting positive energy. Yeah, that's
You
all.
do. Yeah, that's good, man. No, people need to hear this. And as mentioned, if you are a trainer like Mathieu Normandin of Fire Fit, you're an owner. Please know I will give you a platform like I have with him today. I want to help. I want to be a piece to the puzzle with this. I want people to know that fitness and martial arts has changed, made a difference in my life. And
Hey man, we gotta make this. We gotta cause this resistance. Okay, we gotta be part of the resistance.
Exactly. Whether it's direct or indirect, as mentioned, I stand behind all gym owners, all martial arts studio owners, all personal trainers during this time to give them the voice and platform they need. And where can people connect with you, Matt, if they ever want to do like a
You
training or
guys
like
can
just talk to you?
message me on Instagram at Matsthetics. I'll repeat again. Connect me on Instagram at Matsthetics. And I'll be gladly to be there to help you, whether it's to train or just to talk and yeah, share our life experiences, enjoy each other's company. I'm always there to have a good time.
You heard it first, guys. All right. So episode will be up on Spotify, YouTube, iTunes, Google, wherever audio platforms are. I'm not an expert on this.
We'll do this again soon, Andrew.
Yeah, you're coming back anytime, man. Whether it's you, maybe you could bring your partner John in. I mean, we're gonna share. I want every follower of Matt, or like not follower, every client or friend of Matt that sees this and hears this, please share it. We are gonna make a difference with this. He's making a difference, and I want to see him succeed as a person and a trainer and an owner.
Thank you, Andrew. It's a pleasure always.
No problem.
Sorry, I woke up 2 hours late to the show.
As Conor McGregor says, who gives a fuck?
At least I came on it, and I'm happy we did this. It felt good. It felt good to do this. I feel like we attracted some good energy through this.
Me too. All right. Recording over.